Пытка и позор, мошенник и мудрец,
наводящий страх, с диким пламенем в глазах.
Целитель ловелас и не святой отец.
То ли шарлатан, то ли праведный титан.
Жить в пору империализма был крепок и силен.
Тем, что называется харизма, щедро наделен. Распутин свои раны испарил, и пугал над гневною знать. Распутин многих женщин властелин, о нем подробно лучше не знать.
Он делал, что хотел, державой правя всей.
Он без слов учил, он касанием лечил.
Его боготворил царевич Алексей.
Шла за ним толпа, бесновата и слепа.
Участь казна пошла трещала, как легко тяжала.
Но царица все ему прощала, сыном дорожа.
Hello guys, how are you guys? Please let me know if my sound is good. That was Rasputin. Why did I play the Rasputin song? It's because Rasputin, he was a spin doctor. And tonight we're gonna talk about the spin doctors here in this case, in the Delphi's case. So that's why we introduced the live tonight with Rasputin. Today we're gonna talk about the testimony of Skip Jansen during the Contempt hearing, the situation related to the leaks and the potential involvement of Fix-Solves with Nick McLelland, law enforcement. So we're going to talk about that tonight. But before doing that, I'm going to share something to you guys here. Give me just 1 second. This is maybe nothing, but let me show you something here. Remember that the other time we had here Steve Barber, and we were talking about the 43 seconds video, the clues he was able to find in that audio. And during that interview, we said, oh, what if we play backwards the video of Abby and Libby in the bridge? And I was just curious about that. So I took the video and I did that. I put the video like in the reverse way, backwards, to see if there was something interesting there. You know that this case is really weird. So I was thinking maybe some subliminal messages are there, or just to see what could I find. So I actually didn't find anything, but I'm gonna play it. You're gonna tell me by yourself, guys, if you can hear something there. At one point, it sounds kind of creepy. It's like if the girls are talking in a strange language, of course. But anyways, I just wanted to do that experiment, and I want to see what do you think about this. Again, to me, there's nothing there, but I wanted just to give it a try. So it's gonna be like 2 minutes. 2 minutes because I repeat some sections a couple of times. Some sections that I found interesting, right? So let's do it.
United States Radio half budget map half budget United States Radio half budget map half budget United States Radio half budget map half budget United States Radio half budget map half budget
So that's it. Again, I just wanted to do the experiment. I didn't hear anything special, any hidden message there when we played the video backwards. I just wanted to give it a try. Maybe, guys, if you want to repeat the video after this streaming, you can tell me if you find something interesting there. But anyways, so we're gonna start with the. I did some type of dialogue in regards of the testimony of Skip Jansen during the content hearing. So in the screen, you're gonna see a Hennessy from the defense, Skip Jansen, Nick McLelland, the prosecutor, and of course the judge. I didn't have too many options to add voices to in my software, so I put a very funny voice to the judge, like a duck, let's say. But for real, it was not on purpose. It was because I didn't have too many voices available to use. The voice I found for Skip was actually, I think, is very similar to Skip, and Hennessy and Nick McLelland just standard voices. So we're gonna hear that testimony. Is in regards of the leaks and the leaks from the side of the prosecution. So let's see what Skip is gonna testify, and then we can discuss about it in the chat, or sorry, after live, let's say. So let's do it.
Please state and spell your name.
I'm sorry?
Please state and spell your name.
Oh, it's Stephen Wood. STEVEN WOOD.
Do you have a nickname?
Online, yeah. Skip Jansen.
People call you Skip?
They do.
And have you followed the Delphi investigation?
I have. I followed it since August of 2020.
Do you know Mr. Solves?
Yes.
How do you know him?
He and I became friends. We initially met around, I think, January of 2022. I made several appearances on his channel, YouTube channel, talking about the case, and we just became friends over that time.
And were you a part of a group that he was a part of a group of?
I'm sorry, what? Say it again.
Were you a part of a group that he was a part of?
Yes, we were in a Discord group.
Do you know of different names that he went by?
He went by Fig Solves. He went by Fig Mutant USA, I think, on Reddit. But mostly, he's known as Fig.
Is that one?
Yes? Fig Solves, Fig Newton.
And I'm going to hand you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit N and ask if you can identify it.
Yeah, this is a conversation he and I had over text.
And how do you know that?
I'm familiar with the conversation. He and I talked a lot. Like I said, we were good friends, so we communicated a lot.
Judge, may I ask a few foundational questions?
Yes.
Mr. Wood, the conversation that you had with Mr. Solves, does it have anything to do about an email sent from Mr. Baldwin to Mr. Woodhouse?
It does not.
Does it have anything to do with photos that were taken from Mr. Baldwin's office?
I don't believe so.
Does it have anything to do with a press release from the defense that was released in December of 2022?
I can't recall.
Does it have anything to do with an ongoing leak from the defense out to the public?
From the defense? I mean, we talked about ongoing leaks.
I meant this conversation here that you're trying to admit.
Oh, no.
Judge, then I object to the relevance to this hearing.
Any response?
No, I won't rehash.
Okay, then I will show N is not admitted.
Hand you Defense Exhibit O. Can you identify that?
Yeah, this is a text conversation between Fig and myself, and it's covering several different things about the case, about sources in the case mainly.
Thank you. I'm going to hand you an envelope marked Flash Drive Fig, November 22nd, 2022 YouTube video. Are you familiar with that?
I am familiar with the video, yes.
And inside is a flash drive of that YouTube. And you recognize that?
I do.
And what does he talk? Oops, what about in that YouTube?
He talks about cartridges, bullets, casings, unspent casings, cartridges, mostly evidentiary stuff for the most part.
Move to offer Q. Defendant's Exhibit Q offered.
Q?
Judge, I'm gonna object. Same objection, relevance. I don't know what it has to do with the information outlined in the state's filing.
Same response.
All right. I'll show Q is not admitted.
And then did Mr. Solves reveal a lot of detailed information about the investigation?
Objection, Judge. Same objection. I'm not sure that's relevant to what we're here to discuss here today.
Sustained.
It's the same relevance, it's the same. My theory and theme regarding contempt and punishment. There's two parts to it.
You need to give that exhibit to Jody if you want it in the record, sir.
She has it. Oh, you've got it? Okay. Do you have any further questions for this witness?
Offer to prove. Go ahead.
I'd like to do it in question and answer form. It'll be brief. That's the preference under the rule.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Could you please, just for the record, indicate what kind of information Mr. Solves was putting out there?
Specifically to the October, November of 2022, or just in general?
All over.
A lot of stuff. So he claimed to have different sources, and he talked about a lot of things.
Wouldn't he indicate that there was going to be a release of documents in 1 week, and then that occurred within on a week?
Yeah, he did. On I believe June 16th of 2023, he said that his source had told him they were gonna release a large set of documents. Some are older, some new is how he described it, and then, a week or so later, they were released.
Did he post that he had the unredacted probable cause affidavit filed in support of the charges against Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And was that before it was publicly available?
I don't recall exactly. I do recall that he was adamant about the fact that the PCA had two versions. There was a 1.0 and a 2.0. And what we've seen, the public seen, was a 2.0 version. And that was, again, came from the same source that told him about the documents that were released in June.
And did he claim that his source was an employee of Judge Gull?
He did.
Did he ever identify that person?
He did not.
Did he attribute other leaked information to that source?
Yes.
And what was it?
He said that. One was more of an opinion-based. One said that this person thought that Richard Allen was guilty and hoped that Judge Gull kept him in Westville for a long time. Like I said, it was the PCA, the 2.0 version of that, the documents that were released in June. There was no reason to believe that he wasn't telling the truth, because everything he was saying was right.
Judge, I'm going to object at this point. I think we've gone beyond an offer of proof. We're into speculation.
No, we're not.
On what Mr. Salvis thought or didn't think.
Sustained.
So I don't have a problem if he wants to offer to prove. I don't have a problem if he wants to submit documents to the court as an offer of proof. But I think we've gotten outside that scope at this point, Judge. We're well beyond the offer of proof. Do you have any additional information that you wish to get from this witness?
I'm sorry. Where are we?
Are you done with this witness? I've sustained the state's objection.
No, I'm sorry, okay? Did he identify any other sources?
Did he say it again? Sorry.
Did he identify any other sources?
He did.
Who?
Prosecutor McLeland.
And was he in communication with Mr. McLeland?
He was.
Judge, again, I'm going to object. I think we're outside the scope of offer of proof, and so at this point, I'm going to object to the continued line of questioning.
The documents. The documents would establish that Mr. McLeland and Mr. Salves were in communication. They were trading information. Mr. McLeland said he wanted to talk to other people in the group. Mr. McLeland sent Mr. Salves a message telling him to delete everything. So that would be the testimony. And then, lastly, I'm sorry. So he and Mr. Salves communicated, and then any other sources besides the employee of Judge Gull.
Well, Judge, I'm going to renew the same objection. I think this is outside the offer of proof of why his testimony of why these exhibits are relevant to the hearing here today.
Sustained. We are done with this offer of proof, sir.
Well, not really.
Yes, you are.
Well, but I have a right to make a record.
Well, then make your record in a summary fashion. Not through this witness, because you are violating any kind of offer of proof. You're just having him testify to information that you want to get into the record. You can't substantiate or support.
Okay, I absolutely, respectfully disagree. But the only last thing I'll say is that the November 22nd of 2022 YouTube clearly establishes that Fig Salves had what he called version 2.0 of the probable cause affidavit 1 week before it was ever available to anyone. That's it. Thank you.
Do you have any questions for this witness?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
So that's it, guys. It was like a 10-minute video. That was the testimony of Skip Jansen, who was brave enough to go to testify about the leaks that were generated from the side of the prosecution. According to Skip Jansen, Nick McLeland, the prosecutor, was sharing information, trading information with the YouTuber Fig Salves. So what do you think, guys, is behind that? What do you think that, first of all, we have to conclude about that after this, after the completion of this hearing process. Fixol said that everything was bullshit, that he doesn't have any type of contact with Nick McClelland. Like, yeah, right. Remember that he deleted his content at one point, which is consistent with, we're gonna see some exhibits here. At one point, allegedly, the prosecutor ordered Fixolves to delete everything. So, hello, Fishy. You wanna call? I need some. How can I say? Power tonight. So maybe if you want to call, it's gonna be cool. I'm gonna drop the link just in case you are into that tonight. Anyways, so clearly there's a contradiction here. We have the words of Skip Jansen, who was testifying under oath, and I know well Skip. I consider him a friend, but, or maybe I'm using a very strong word, but we have a very good relationship, and I believe in his words. So I don't think he was committing any perjury. Thank you, Fishy. If you can make it, if not, it's not a problem. But you let me know. I'm gonna be here for a while, so if you can call, it's gonna be cool. So again, I lost my line of thinking. Yeah, exactly. So we have Skip Jansen, who was brave enough to go to testify, and that was his version. He had proof of his communications with Fixolves. Those are part of the exhibits, so we're gonna see those exhibits later here. And we have the other side, Mr. Solves saying that everything was just bullshit, which it's really unlikely. So it's interesting. He presents himself as an integral content creator, but in my opinion, the information we have here shows that he was working close with law enforcement. So what does it mean? That means that he was like a spin doctor. That's why I called this live the spin doctor situation, let's say. If you go to the channel of All Eyes on Delphi, you can find the exhibits that are part of the process in regards of the testimony of Skip Jansen. And we have the communications, the text messages between Skip and Fixolves. So we consider that, of course, we know that Fig is, everything is about cloud. Everything is about contacts. He was bragging about his relationship with Nick McClelland like forever, and now he says that he didn't have any contact or any communication. That's just bullshit. We know that this is unlikely. He was really working for McClelland. He had the PCA version 2, 1 week before that PCA was published, unredacted version. And he had a contact inside the courtroom. Look at this. He's saying that the PCA version 1 was even more embarrassing for law enforcement. So if the final version, the version 2.0, it's embarrassing already, imagine how bad it was the version 1.0. Anyways, so law enforcement, they removed some of the embarrassment from it before releasing it. This is a Fig talking to Skip Jansen. So I don't think that Skip is fabricating this type of messages here. I think these messages are factual, are real, and it shows that Fig was actually involved with law enforcement. This is my conclusion. This is the most likely scenario here. But he presents himself as someone who is doing an independent research. So we're gonna go there step by step here. I'm gonna go to the chat for a while. Tommy, I made remark about certain markings were not on Libby. You were talking about the crimes in pictures. No blood, no gore, just two bodies that appeared to be fake. Do you know if anyone says they seen the pictures with black boxes? Not on them. I don't know. I really don't know. I saw the picture, two pictures that were circulating on internet with some squares, black squares on it, but I really don't know if someone was actually in possession of the original crimes in pictures without black boxes or black circles. So I don't know that. Thank God for misbehaved. Why? Mar's here. How are you, Mar? Happy to have you here tonight. So let me come back to the. My dog is barking. Sorry for that. If you hear some crazy dog barking in the background, well, she's the one. So we know that the contact of Fig Solves, the one who was working for the judge, she was saying that Richard Allen is guilty, that she is 100% sure, that they were looking for a hard punishment, and you can find the whole information, the whole communication between Skip and Fig Solves in the exhibits. Again, you can go to the channel of All Eyes on Delphi, and you're gonna find that information there. I think the information was already available since a while, let's say, but I just wanted to talk about this tonight. So just scrolling down here. So the contact works for Judge Gall, so he was in direct communication with the prosecution, with one clerk who was working for the judge, and also in direct communication with Nick McClelland. Just scrolling down here, guys. I'm gonna change the PDF. Okay, there are other exhibits where we can see that he was in communication with McClelland. Those exhibits where McClelland is asking him to delete everything. Very, very interesting information. So what bothers me is that he presents himself as an integer YouTuber. We know that he was pushing the narrative of the state, and this is just like a facade, you know what I mean? This is one communication between McClelland and Fig Solves. Of course, Fig Solves is saying that this is a fake document. I don't think so. So Nick McClelland is replying to Fixolves here, saying, I really appreciate the information. I would be interested in talking to the person from the group and getting more information and details about what is going on with the group. So McClelland is talking about some, I don't know, Discord group, a Facebook group, YouTube group, Reddit group, I don't know. Sincerely, Nicholas McClelland. So some people say that because of this font, the size of these characters are not the same of these of the characters in this part of the text. This message looks like fabricated, and I'm telling you guys. For example, in my case, in my company, I have a signature already. I I set my signature with a specific font size, font characters. So regardless of the text that I'm writing in my cell phone or in my computer, the signature is always going to be the same. It doesn't change. It's already preset. You know what I mean? So this is not an easy way to say that this is fake or fabricated. I don't buy it. Let me go here to the chat for a second. I'm gonna do something. Sorry, guys. The guys who were here since the beginning, you already watched the 10 minutes video I presented about the testimony of Skip Jansen. Since some people are entering right now to the chat, maybe I'm gonna repeat that video. So, but before doing that, I'm going to the chat here to see what are you talking about. Tom is still asking about the crime scene pictures, asking if someone has seen the pictures without the black boxes on Libby. So I really don't know, guys. So you let me know. Misbehave posted a video about Mr. Solves. I didn't know who the other person was. Now I know it's Skip. Okay. What was that video about? The same type of communications between Skip and Fig that we are talking tonight. Hello, Veronica. How are you? Happy to have you here. It was really cool to have you here yesterday. The conversation was awesome. And actually, I was not part of the conversation too much. I think you were talking to Eve from True Crime with Eve, and the conversation between both of you guys was awesome. I really enjoyed that conversation yesterday, so it was cool. Let me continue here. Just hello, Sunflower, the Italian element of our channel. Digital, hello, Digital. Oh my God, this is the worst book ever. It's like 3 pages. I actually read it. I think it was in Amazon. It's a bad book, but there are some interesting clues there. Anyways, but yeah, tentacles. It was like a book for children, but yeah, I remember that. Let me go here. Tommy, those edits were pointless if the goal was to be a leak. Jenny's here. Jenny from the blog. Yeah, man, go to Amazon. It's like it's a book of 3 pages. It's a book. How can you call a book if the content is 3 pages? I don't think that is that applies for a book, but anyways, yeah. Veronica, I felt we took over now, but that was the objective. That was the objective of the live, of the streaming yesterday. So yeah, really, it was really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna interrupt anytime if I feel the need to do it. But yesterday I didn't feel the need. The conversation was just great. So that's why I didn't participate too much. Yeah, Jenny, I agree. Thanks for that. Digital. Tommy, Snake got his from KD. What is KD? Ah, Mar, yeah, you were not here yesterday. Yesterday was really cool. It was really cool. We had a True Crime with Eve. We had Veronica, and they were talking about a lot of stuff, really interesting. And yeah, it was a nice streaming. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Sunflower was not here yesterday. Yeah, shame on you. Shame on you guys. Shame on you. But the replay option is always there. So for you also, Tommy, you can do it. Yeah. So coming back to the subject of today, what do you think? What is the situation behind the scenes? Why was Fixolves potentially, and I give a lot of weight to that possibility, working with the prosecution? Was he, and I'm gonna ask directly, was he receiving money from the prosecution? It was a business situation. I don't know. I have that question, and I would love to know if in the, how can you call that, expenses accounts of law enforcement, we can see some consulting firm, because we know that he is working with a consulting firm. And is that firm part of the payroll of law enforcement? You're gonna tell me that I'm being very out of my mind, but I ask myself that question: was he receiving money from the state? Was his company part of the payroll? I don't know, and I'm not an American citizen, but you guys, you live in US, you are paying taxes, so I think you have the right to ask for that information. So it's just a question. What was the nature of that transaction of information? There were two sides sharing information there. Prosecution, Fixolves. Was all about money. Was all about just propaganda. So I don't know. I don't know what was the nature. When I look for some information here in just quick in Google, what could be the nature of that transaction? Or is everything about cloud? Is everything about bragging for having any type of contact or any type of communication with law enforcement? Is that it's all about that? Is all about narrative control, shaping how the public perceives the case? I don't know. You let me know. What are your opinions here, guys? Or is a way to influence the jurors? Possibly, if the jurors are having some type of narrative prior to the beginning of the case, that could be a strategy for law enforcement. I don't know, or it's a matter of infiltration. We saw in that communication, in that message between Fig and Nick McLelland, that the prosecutor was very interested in having some information about groups. I don't know if he was talking about Facebook groups, Reddit groups, YouTube groups, Discord groups. So I don't know. Is Fig just a consultant who is being paid? Who's being paid? I don't know. Is an informant? You tell me. Or is just someone working unofficially, not getting cash from law enforcement, but he's being compensated with access of information like the murder sheet. We know that the murder sheet is the media weapon of the state. So something similar to that was the state working with two branches, the murder sheet branch, podcasters, and the YouTube branch, Big Solves. I don't know. Or is he just looking for some status with law enforcement? I don't know. It's about views, I don't think, because he has a lot of views. So, but anyways, it could be that. I think it's about clout. Remember, he was bragging about his there's, it's funny because there's a show, not a show, an episode that was made by the Murder Sheet, and the Murder Sheet, they are talking shit about Fig Solves in that episode. It's about the content hearing, and it's funny because you don't know who is worse there. Murder Sheet, Fig Solves, like the same thing, you know what I mean. But in that episode, they talk about how important was for Fig to brag about contacts. So everything is like about cloud, you know what I mean? So what bothers me here is that, of course, he's not an independent researcher. His research is biased because he's too close to law enforcement. And again, I don't know if he was receiving money or if the nature of that transaction of information was another type of transaction. But of course, his research is not transparent, in my opinion. And so we talk about ethics here. We talk about credibility. We talk about manipulation of the public. And should we talk about accountability? Is something that is gonna happen? I don't think so. It's like he's gonna go free with the crime he committed, if I can exaggerate in that sense. So, anyways, I'm gonna come back to the chat for a while here to see what is going on with you guys. Veronica still here. Yeah, Mark, please replay. It was really cool. You were disappointed when it ended. Me too, but I was really tired. And yesterday was Friday. I was working hard during the whole week. So, and I was enjoying too much the show yesterday, but it was 3 hours. So after 3 hours, I was just dead. So today I'm in a better shape, let's say. Yeah, Digital just replayed the streaming we had yesterday. It was really cool. Exactly, thank you. Yeah, Veronica is awesome. It's awesome, and I like when I have guests that talk a lot, because it's like the opposite. I don't talk too much, so when I have people talking, it's easy to go with the flow. Because, anyways, it's not a critic; it's a compliment for Veronica. Oh, Michael Osbrook is here. How are you, Michael? Hey, Michael, I would love to have you here as a guest someday. What do you think about that? Are you open to that possibility? By the way, I was talking to Slutty Goosey. Maybe we're going to do something in the next days, guys, so stay tuned. Michael, there was no leak. Every picture in the content information was a Frank's exhibit. As a matter of law, those pictures were public records. Anyone could do anything they wanted with those public records. Okay. Yeah, I know that. And I think his behavior could be related to that digital. This is a good point, and I'm not gonna take advantage of that tragedy to criticize anyone here. I don't wish anyone to have a tragedy in his family, let's say. Of course, that is just bad. But what I want to say, and please try to understand me, that those type of situations shape your way to behave. You know what I mean? So in that case, you can, let's say, if law enforcement is brutalizing a member of your family and is treating you bad and is without any reason, you are going to become an anti law enforcement person, let's say. You're not gonna like cops. You're not gonna like law enforcement because you had that experience in your life. You know what I mean? It shapes the way you behave. And it's in the other side. If law enforcement did something good for you, you're gonna believe in a blind way to law enforcement. If a tragedy happened in your family, you can become like a punisher. You know what I mean? So you can become someone looking for revenge, and you see that Fig is doing some type of content about the West Memphis 3, and he's blaming those guys, and he's omitting information that is exculpatory. So I'm not saying he's lying, because he's very smart. He doesn't lie, but he omits information that is not in the benefit of his narrative. You know, in the case of Delphi, in the case of the West Memphis 3, in the case of Karen Reed. So he's a punisher. You know what I mean? And it's bad here in the Delphi's case because he's a punisher working with law enforcement. So it's not transparent. You know what I mean? So yes, I know that digital, but again, it happens, and I don't wish anyone to have a tragedy in his family. Of course, I don't. But it doesn't mean that because there was a tragedy in your family, everything you say is right, you know? So we have to trace that line. Sorry, seems that my internet is not working well. Okay, I'm back. Tommy was reading Michael's Twitter account today, very informative. What happened? What was Michael telling in Twitter? I have to go there. Mar, it was fun. Yeah, it was. Yesterday was fun. Yeah, me too. I was tired yesterday, for sure. I'm just scrolling here, guys, in the chat. Okay, now I'm curious. What was Michael talking about in Twitter? I don't know. What Osbrook said, why I use quotations when saying leak, it was not a leak at all. So you're still talking about the crime scene pictures, the black boxes on them. Okay. I cannot comment at the moment on what was in Contempt Exhibit 5, the allegedly leaked pictures. Why not? because you're gonna put some obstacles in the appealing process or something like that? Why cannot you talk about that, Michael? Osbrook has me blocked, but pay attention to what he says about the photos. Okay. They blame it on the defense, but of course they did. They won after Brandon came out. Shit wrote after. Yeah, it was cool yesterday. So digital. I think Fig made the connections when he was a spokesperson for his cousin's case. There was a big documentary, and everything had ego swelled from their edge. Ego, oh my God! If we have to put a crown on someone's head here, yeah, he's the champion for sure. It's funny. It's funny how egocentric this guy is for real. Description of provenance would be useful. Thank you. Oh, Shay Watson is here. Happy to have you here, Shay. Happy to have you here. I'm gonna drop the link again just in case someone is interested in calling. Magenta. I think it's the first time I see you here. No, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Josh. Do you have any news, guys, about Josh? This is weird. I think I saw a post from, not a post, but a reply from Finn. And Finn was saying that he's okay, apparently. So I hope he's just taking a break from the case, I guess. Sometimes you can get born in this crazy case. Okay, Mar. Olay said he's okay, just busy. Okay, cool. That's good news. Oh, Michael's here. Wow, so cool. How are you, Michael?
I'm doing fine, Cryptex. How are you?
Fine. Thank you so much for calling.
Well, I thought I'd just drop in for a minute and do maybe the quick version of the thing I maybe bored everybody to death up on Twitter with yesterday.
Yeah, please go ahead. Tell us about that. I really don't know what were you talking about in the chat, guys. So go ahead, Michael.
I put up I don't know whether it was 29 or 30 tweet thread. And after talking with Andy Kopsa for a while, as I said in the thing, when I first got in this on the contempt stuff, I was looking at the procedure stuff mostly, and I wasn't really looking at the facts. I mean, so I kind of burst on the scene with the contempt thingy I filed on February 8th last year, and that was all about McClelland having filed the information in the wrong place, and it was criminal contempt, not civil contempt. It was about how he hadn't alleged even there was any willful violation of court order. So, I mean, that's kind of what I do. Usually it's the procedure stuff. And, Andy Kopsa, a real journalist, pays attention, pretty close attention to facts. And I do too, but I hadn't really looked at the contempt facts much.
Mm-hmm.
But screaming at me, look at paragraph 12 of the contempt information. And I looked at paragraph 12, and Nick McClelland alleged that every single photograph, so the contempt information at least, alleged that every single photograph came from the exhibit attached to the Franks memo. In other words, so the Franks memo was filed on the 18th of September.
Sorry,
and it
I
was
think. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
so it was filed on the 17th, 18th of September, and the leak, allegedly, I have some evidence that was McClelland knew about pictures in the wild earlier, but and that's been made public there a while ago. I mean, what that is, but in any case, the Franks memo was filed, not the motion. So there's the Franks motion, and they publicly filed an exhibit list. Briefly, the Franks memo was on the web. That's how everybody, on the docket. That's how everybody got it. Then it disappeared, but the exhibits never showed up.
Oh no. Oh shit.
So we have the exhibit list, and all the crime scene photos are listed in the exhibit list. And I mean, this is on the docket, and it's on All Eyes GitHub thing. All the crime scene photos are labeled confidential.
Sure.
Well, no, not sure. So this is how the Franks memo and the exhibit were delivered, and this is according to McClelland, were filed on the 18th, but they were delivered by hand to Gull and McClelland. And so then you go to the public access rules, the access to court records. They're called the ACR rules, access to court records rules. And basically, Rule 4 says unless something's excluded by something in Rule 5, exhibits are public. The public has access to them. And Rule 5 says also if you're filing something confidentially to which public access is to be excluded, you have to do two things. One, you have to publicly file a document saying that records are being excluded without saying what they are or what their content is. And two, you have to file an ACR form with the thing that's to be excluded, identifying the Rule 5 basis for excluding them.
Okay.
No, there was no public filing saying anything was being excluded. Now, we don't know if the ACR form identifying the Rule 5 basis for exclusion was filed or not with the documents, because we don't know it was filed. We can't see it. But if you look at all of the things that justify excluding records are in ACR Rule 5B. 5A is about excluding entire cases. 5B is about excluding specific things. And there are a list of 13 things, kinds of things that shall be excluded. And number 11 is kind of interesting because it says pictures of the private parts of live people shall be excluded. It doesn't say that the pictures of private parts of dead people shall be excluded. Basically, there's no basis for exclusion in Rule 5. There's no notice. Presumption is that a record is public. And if you don't do the things to make something confidential, it's not confidential. It's a public record. And so when that's the 18th of September. These all become public records. And this leak happened the night of the 4th to the morning of the 5th of October. We don't know exactly what time. I have some indications and some documents that were provided in discovery as part of the contempt case, but I'm not going to go into that. But everybody's upset. On the 4th or 5th of October, those things had already been public records for what, 12, 2 weeks plus. People were absolutely, and I mean, you think of all the horror of how the mishandling of public records just here. I mean, it's both tragic because there was no basis for any investigation. These were public records that were being, oh, there's a terrible leak. No, whoever had that. Now we don't, and it doesn't matter where it came from now. Where it came from, there are kind of really interesting factual questions about where it came from, but because of what McClelland alleged in the contempt information, you have to realize the contempt information is a charging document. I mean, it's a criminal contempt case. So it's a criminal case against Brad and Andy. And prosecutors, when they file charging documents, are stuck with the factual allegations they make. And why is that? It's called due process, because you cannot defend yourself against a charge that isn't made. And so when he says all of the leaked pictures came from the Franks exhibit, he is stuck with that. If he had other pictures, he could have included that. I don't know what other pictures he has. I don't know where the other pictures came from. But if all the pictures came from the Franks memo exhibit, those were public records, and there was no basis to terrorize people about
leaks.
About a leak.
So basically, you're saying that the concept of leak here is not applicable, right?
That's my position. I mean, I look, if somebody wants to tell me why I'm wrong, I'm happy to listen. I think it's sort of indisputable.
No, you're the one who knows the laws here. Very interesting information.
Well, I don't know what the arguments on the other side are. I mean, I try to think of the arguments for the other side, but I can't think of one for this. If the presumption is something's public, unless Rule 5 makes it private, and nothing in Rule 5 makes it, when I say private, confidential is what I mean. Nothing in Rule 5 would require confidentiality. And you might be able to file things as a matter of discretion. I really don't think you can, but you can. I put up in the Twitter feed, I put up the link, the rules. People can go look and read them for themselves. They're very straightforward. I'm at wit's end. I mean, and like the tragedy of Fortson, reputations continue to be besmirched because of this. Oh, they leaked children. No, I mean, frankly, they should have filed it all publicly.
And
I mean, they did file it publicly. They just didn't do it right, and they did. All I can say. And by the way, the minute, and this is why I put this on Gulf. First, I think Andy, who did the Franks memo, I mean, if he wanted to file it confidentially, I think he screwed up because he didn't file what he needed to. But second, Gull, the minute she got that stuff and saw that it was confidential, if you look at Rule 8, it's up to the judge to determine that something's been improperly filed confidentially. And these, even assuming they were improperly filed confidentially, she should have been making them public because they were improperly filed confidentially. And by the way, even let's just say somebody says they were filed confidentially. Because there was no notice of exclusion on the public docket, any reasonable person would have thought those documents were public records.
And what would be the consequence of that type of violation? Let's say, what does it mean? What does it mean for this case? is something that it could be, it could play in favor for the appealing process or something like that? What do you think about it?
You know, it could be useful for a number of reasons. You know, there are some other problems with the contempt proceeding, but you know, those are kind of factual, and I don't want to go into those at the moment. I just really wanted to get it out there that it really doesn't matter where it doesn't matter where the hell the pictures came from.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of law, because they were public records, and saying they came from murder sheets, they came from Fig, they came from Cohen. And by the way, you know, if you look at the contempt hearing, there is no connection between Westerman and the pictures in Exhibit 5. And having said that, you know, Westerman's affidavit, which was admitted at the hearing, only said, I took pictures. He didn't say what pictures he took. And it's totally irrelevant. And the entire case against Brad and Andy, and I don't even know what the case against Brad was, but the entire case against Andy, well, both of them, since they were both charged with contempt, was an inference to be made that these pictures had to have come from the defense because we didn't have them. They didn't come from us. No, that's just an out and out lie, because McClelland said they all came from the Franks memo. The judge had the Franks memo. McClelland had the Franks memo. Who knows whether Holman ever saw the Franks memo? I don't know. And do not forget that everybody's favorite personage, Gary Baudet, said, what? Oh, I have a side the court.
What is your theory?
I don't have a theory. I don't have a theory. To me, my theory is there should never have been an investigation. The cat was out of the bag. These were public records. Everybody was certainly free to be upset. But there was no leak by the defense, intentional or otherwise. And it could have come from McClelland. It could have come from Gull's office. It could have, and the fact that everybody's hair was on fire about this is just inexcusable.
And at the end, it doesn't matter anymore.
Well, it does matter because Fortson's dead.
Yeah, for sure.
Brad and Andy are still subject. I mean, look at all the awful things that were said, and continue to be said about Brad and Andy. Look at McClelland continuing to threaten people with prosecution for which there is literally no basis if they do something with these leaked pictures. It's ridiculous. And by the way, I don't know why they didn't file a motion to dismiss, but taking pictures of pictures is no crime. I mean, Westerman, he entered into a deferral agreement, but so he was charged with conversion. Conversion is the exercise of unauthorized control over the property of another. I think the example I've used is, imagine that I'm the pizza guy and my brother orders a pizza and I go in, I deliver the pizza, he goes back to get money, and there are some like really embarrassing family photos of his on the mantelpiece while I'm waiting to get paid. I pull out my phone, I take a few pictures and I put them on the internet. I haven't stolen a damn thing. I haven't converted anything. The most I've done has captured some reflected photons off those pictures and then converted them into pictures on my camera. The idea that Mitch Westerman committed a crime is completely absurd, and the idea that a judge actually signed an arrest warrant for him and approved a probable cause affidavit is beyond bizarre. It is. I mean, this is what happens when.
And let me ask you something. I understand your point here, but when you say that taking pictures of a picture is not a crime, it depends on the picture, right? Because we are talking about an underage girl who is naked. So can you do that?
Well,
I don't know. I'm just asking.
No, he would. Well, if look, if there's a crime, if you want to say this is, C-SPAN of some sort, that's another matter. He was charged with that. He was charged with conversion.
Okay.
Conversion is a slightly lesser degree of theft. The difference between the two is with conversion, it's only exercising the unauthorized control over the property of another. Let's call that joyriding in a car. In other words, you go out, you nick a car, you drive it around, and then you put it back where it was. But you're not, you weren't authorized to do that.
Okay.
On the other hand, stealing the car, theft, is exerting unauthorized control over the property of another with the intent to deprive the person of the value or use of the thing. So you take the car permanently, that's theft. Joyriding is more like conversion.
Okay. I understand better now.
And this conversion thing, it was just utterly ridiculous. And I don't know why, Westerman's lawyer didn't move to dismiss. He should definitely sue for malicious prosecution. But there's this thing going on in this case where nobody's willing to stand up and do anything. Rick Allen, Kathy Allen, Janice Allen absolutely have libel cases against the Tweedles for their book. But I don't imagine they're doing anything. Rick had a civil suit against the DOC. Nobody's doing anything about that. Nobody, as far as I know, is doing anything about formally getting a post-conviction investigation going. Everybody's putting their money on a successful appeal. I'm more pessimistic about that than many. And that's no knock on Stacy and Mark. They are terrific. If anybody can win, they can win. I know the courts, and I know how they work, and I know what they might do.
Sure. This looks like some type of ammunition for the appealing attorneys. There's a question here for you from Steve, True Crime Web. You can see it on the screen. What is the earliest date Michael believes the pictures were compromised?
Oh, I've got evidence that there were pictures in the wild as early as June 2017.
June, okay.
Of 2017, and I'm guessing there were ones out there earlier. Yeah.
Like 4 months after the murders.
Yeah, and then we have in January of 2023, we have the prosecutors, next best friends to Fig, Brett and Alice, the prosecutors podcast. We've got them saying, we were offered pictures and we got in touch with the Delphi Police Department. Well, that would be nice to know what they got. Then you have Doug Carter in February 2023 saying, by the way, there are pictures in the wild. And that's when McClellan moves to the protective order.
Mhm. Okay.
And so when do I think that the photos were so-called compromised? I don't know when people had pictures, but all I'm saying is, and look, there may have been pictures that were leaked from somewhere that were not in the Franks exhibit. That's fine. We don't know about that, but McClelland alleged in the contempt information that all the pictures came from the Franks exhibit.
Mhm. Okay.
And he said he had other pictures, but he didn't say what they were. He didn't say where they came from. It just and so his entire contempt case, by inference, that these photos from the Franks exhibit, which were released to various people on the 4th or 5th of October and thereafter. The only inference to be drawn is that those had to have come from a leak from the defense is just not true. Period. The end.
Mhm. Steve is making a precision here about his question before. He's talking about the pictures related to Baldwin and Rosie.
Yeah, well, we don't know what pictures Westerman took, but he said, I think I'd have to go back and look at his affidavit, but I think the story is he took pictures laying out on a table. I don't know whether those were Frank's exhibits. I have no idea. What I'm trying to say is, at least in the contempt case as presented by McClelland, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I understand. So, what do you think is going to be the next step in this situation here?
Well, part of this sets up for a post-conviction case later, if necessary, a state interference with counsel claim. Besides people's hair being on fire over nothing, look what happened. Brad and Andy get removed. They have to be put back. McClelland files contempt for 6 weeks. Instead of working on Rick's case, they have to deal with the contempt nonsense. This getting the law wrong, and God bless Andy Kopsa for making me focus on, rhetorical paragraph 12 and the contempt information.
Andy is great.
Well, and I see the thing that Steve says down there. No, the ones related to Baldwin and Rosie. We don't know what was related to Baldwin and Rosie. Remember, don't forget, Brad Rosie said on the stand about one of the pictures, I've never seen that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they were trying what Holman was trying to say was, well, we use ovals to redact pictures, and I'm sorry, the defense used ovals to redact pictures, and we used rectangles, and the picture they put in as described, I haven't seen it, although I'm working on seeing it. The picture that they put in, as described by Holman, had what? It had a rectangle and an oval. Well, what's that about? If one group used one thing and the other group used the other thing, why does this picture have both things?
Yeah, that's weird. Huh?
Well, and why isn't there an objection from Hennessy saying, relevant?
Yeah.
I mean, if the defense used ovals and this has both an oval and a rectangle, I mean, on Holman's own testimony, this didn't come from the defense.
Yeah, but I really don't know how can we trust the testimony of some people here in this case, even under oath. We just have the case of Kathy Shank, who was testifying something, and we have now the lead sheet where we can see that she was accessing that information in 2019. So this case is just bad, man.
Kathy Shank had her fingers on. She put. I haven't seen the PDF, but I've seen the Doolin report in there. The Doolin report was in there in Orion in 2017. Kathy Shank had her hot little mitt putting Rick Allen stuff in the Orion file in May of 2020, May of 2022. So this idea that she found something, just stumbled on something in a paper file in September is utter nonsense.
No. It's really bad. It's just, oh man. What about the subject of the streaming tonight? Do you have any opinion about the relationship between Fig and McClelland?
No,
Do you think it's relevant or not at all?
My opinion of Fig is that he's an evil jerk.
I tend to agree with you 100%.
I mean, he wrote crap to the law school trying to muddy me up. He's put really ugly things about me up on his site. He's just and totally baseless stuff. He's a menace. I mean,
he's dangerous in my opinion.
And I don't know. I mean, he seems like one of these people who just wants to be involved in things, wants credit for having done this, having done that. There's a lot of that going around.
Yeah.
And I hope, the people who are watching, at least get it from me that I try to make as often as possible the point, and it was one of the first things that I always said to my class, the criminal defense is a group effort, and I'm just out here another one of the group. I have a little more stuff than you all. I have a little more access because I wrote the contempt thingy for. I was counsel of record for Brad and Andy in the contempt case, and I have a little more stuff because and 14, I think it was 14 people who were involved in getting the motion to correct error done. So, I wrote it. Okay, I wrote it, but it was a huge amount of work and a huge group effort. And, all the people who are kindly inclined towards Rick Allen and his plight, all the terrific work people are doing. Rick and his family ought to be incredibly grateful for. I mean, it's important stuff. The work Amy's doing over on case by case, on the timeline is phenomenal. Lots of people are doing lots of different things.
Sure.
And I'm just another one of the group. I don't represent anybody. That's been made very clear, right?
Right.
And so I'm just out here doing whatever I can to, some people are out there saying, want to solve the crime. I have said on a number of occasions, what I'm interested in is getting Rick Allen out. And if that means solving the crime, great. I'm a little less optimistic about being able to actually solve the crime than I am about being able to develop evidence that proves it could not have been Rick. And, to give you an idea of the, the value of the hive mind and all the really smart people out there, Yellow Jacket, just from the exhibit. I mean, I don't know if you or people in your audience have seen it, but she took that blurry picture of a black car off the Hoosier Harvest Store video that the state was trying to represent was Rick Allen's car. And she took the picture, and these are exhibits, and these are trial exhibits. And she took that picture, that blurry picture, and compared it with the picture of Rick's car, the same car, the 2012 black Ford Focus in 2022, in his garage, and proved definitively that it could not be Rick's car because the tail lights in the two cars don't line up with the rear wheel in the same place. I mean, that's over. We now know definitively. You don't need an expert to say, oh, that's a Subaru Impreza. You don't need to, anybody to tell you what the little black box that I was all thought about. So in the blurry picture, there's a little black box on the back of the black car on the Hoosier Harvest Store video. That black box is not on the back and never was on the back of Rick Allen's car. I've been to, various auto places, and nobody has any idea what that could possibly be. But it's not there on Rick's car. But what Yellow Jacket did was terrific. I mean, that issue is over. That is not Rick's car on the Hoosier Harvest Store video. End of story. We do not need to revisit that, except how did they think it was Rick?
Why do you think that type of terrific job that some I don't know, YouTubers or personalities in social media are doing? Why the defense lawyers, they were not able to do that during the process? Is incompetence? Is because
no. Look, I wrote a 31-page memo, single space, that went to the defense about things that needed to be done. One of the things I thought that needed to be done was basically to debrief the lawyers and debrief the investigators and get that all down for the future, because people's memories fade for an eventual post-conviction case. But I'm really not interested in second guessing the lawyers now. It's all about developing evidence that proves Rick could not have been involved. And I think Courtney took a step in excluding the car. I'm still, some of your audience may have heard me mention before, we're waiting for a preliminary result from a photogrammetry guy about Bridge Guy's height. And if we get a good result on that, then we'll probably pay the money to go get an official expert result. I will say that 3 amateurs, including me, and AI have done the photogrammetry stuff on Bridge Guy, and everybody comes out with 6 feet or more.
Interesting.
And well, it's interesting. Look, it's an amateur job. I mean, I know the method I use.
How much is that?
I know the method I used was right to do it, to pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't know how much this guy's gonna want. He's doing the preliminary job for free.
Okay. And this is not a rhetoric question or a sarcastic question. I really don't know. Michael, what is your role in relation of when we talk about the defense lawyers? Are you like a consulting person, or what is your role?
No, I'm not consulting. Just like you, I'm just one of you all. I mean, I consulted with them. Look, I represented them in the contempt thing, and then I mean, you can call me a consultant, but you know, I was kind of on them for about a month saying you all need to file a motion to correct error. And I finally, you know, they finally sort of got over having lost the trial and Rick being sentenced. And, you know, we could have had a lot more time and maybe a better product would have come out. But so I was kind of the engine behind getting the motion to correct error filed.
Okay.
But as I said, I think 14 people were involved in actually doing that. So yeah, it was my idea, and you know, I wrote it, and it was my structure. But there were a lot of people involved, and but after that, I really don't have an official role. I'm here just like I'm just one of you. That's kind of what I was saying. I'm one of you with a little more stuff because of my earlier involvement.
Of course, that's clear. Oh man, very interesting information you provided today. Let's see what's gonna happen with that, and I'm very interested in the outcome of that height analysis. It's gonna be something.
I think everybody is, and I keep mentioning it, and I'm kind of frustrated we don't have at least the preliminary result back.
Yeah, awesome.
But when somebody's doing something for free, you kind of let them do it when they can do it, right?
Yeah, totally. Do you have any information about Rick Allen, his situation in Oklahoma?
No, I don't.
No?
I haven't. I was in touch. I haven't. So I have been in touch with people who are more in touch with Rick, but I haven't really heard from them in a while. And so yeah, I really don't know how he's doing, and really don't know how he's doing in Oklahoma.
Yeah, that move was kind of weird, no?
Yeah, and it's also interesting that Mr. Baston was moved to Oklahoma as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Anyways, this case is just insane. Let's see. Let's see what's gonna be the outcome of that appealing process. I hope it's gonna happen. Are you optimistic or
about the appeal? No, I'm not.
No?
But you know, I mean, you know, that look. I have lost cases. I have lost cases on appeal that are lay down wins. And you know, the Court of Appeals. So I was clerk for justice on the Indiana Supreme Court. And that was a while ago, but a judge on the Court of Appeals walked up to me and said, and thought it was hilariously funny, we may get them wrong, but we get them wrong fast. and thereafter, I fly-specked every one of his opinions. And the Indiana Supreme Court, for the most part, just doesn't care. I mean, I have two cases. I have two cases in the Seventh Circuit. Actually, they were originally both Mark Lehman's cases, where there was a split in the Court of Appeals about something. And there was one panel, so it was co-defendants. One panel said one thing, the other panel said another thing. The job of the Indiana Supreme Court is to resolve conflict in the Court of Appeals, and the Supreme Court did nothing. So you know, my confidence in my confidence in the Indiana appellate courts is pretty getting things right is pretty low. And what's really interesting about the appellate courts, especially the Court of
I think we lost Michael. I don't know if he's gonna call again or not, but it was really interesting to have Michael here. It's a shame that Steve cannot call. He's busy. I agree with Don Spain. We miss you. At least I miss you a lot, Steve. great content, but it would be great to have you here asking your questions directly to Michael. But anyways, it's gonna happen at one point, and you know that you are welcome anytime you want to be here, Steve. Veronica was calling. Sorry, I couldn't put Veronica in. So actually, guys, I think this is gonna be like the end of the streaming. It was really cool. Please let me know in the comment section what do you think about the subject of today, the relationship between Fig and the prosecution. So I'm just gonna play a video to end the live tonight. I'm gonna chat with you for a couple of minutes, guys, while the video is playing. So let me share that here right away. Looking for the screen, and it's gonna take 1 second, guys.
Загадка и позор, мошенник и мудрец.
Наводящий страсти и пламени глаза.
Целитель ловелас и не святой отец.
То ли шарлатан, то ли праведный титан.
Жили пору империализма, был крепок и силен.
Тем, что называется харизма, щедро наделен. Распути свои раны и спали, перепугал надменную знать. Распути многих женщин властелин, о нем подробно лучше не знать.
Он делал, что хотел, державой правя всей.
Он без слов учил, он касанием лечил.
Его боготворил царевич Алексей.
Шла за ним толпа, бесновата и слепа.
Ужас бит, казна пошла трещала, как приход съезжала.
Но царица все ему прощала, сыном дорожа. Распутил свои раны исполин, он растоптал серебряный век. Распутил ноги женщин властелин, не бог, не демон, а человек. О-ла-ла, разбудит, о-ла-ла, о-ла-ла, разбудит, о-ла-ла, о-ла-ла, разбудит, о-ла-ла, о-ла-ла, ла-ла.
Напор, в нем бешеная страсть,
Жажда разрушать и стремление утешать.
и годы напролет невидимую власть.
В кулаке держал этот человек пожар. Между преступлением и блудом, между тьмой и блеском звезд, между преступлением и чудом встал живо весь рост. The lover of the Russian queen, there was a cat that thrill was gone. Russian greatest love machine, it was a shame how he carried on. Rasputin, он герой демократии, для больших планов скрученный бред. Rasputin смотрит яростно с витрин, навек оставшись в мире легенд. Rasputin.